Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for having us, and let me start from showing you, expressing my nation, my viewers, my readers, great gratitude of what you did during this task's persecution period. It had really great significance, not only in practical level, but as well in moral level. So thank you very much. I know it wasn't easy, but it had a great importance for us. So thank you for keeping here, saving here Mr. Romanowski, but what's more important, saying about this injustice we experience in Poland.
So first of all, thank you very much for the chance to have that interview. It's always a privilege to have an interview with somebody who is coming from Poland. You know, the historical friendship between the two nations makes it exceptionally valuable for me, so thank you very much. The second point is that, you know, in Hungary we say once a friend, always a friend.
Okay.
So, you know, sometimes you are in trouble, sometimes we are in trouble, and we have to be loyal. One of the main character of the Hungarians being a lawyer. So I will always loyal to my friends who helped me a lot anyway when they were in a better shape, especially in Brussels. You know, Poland is bigger than Hungary. And your government, Morawiecki and Kaczynski, helped a lot me getting out of some pressures in Brussels. So I do remember very well. And I will be loyal to them because they have the Hungarian nations and me personally very well. Second, justice counts. You know, what's going on in Poland is just unacceptable. It's against all the moral values of justice and democracy. And it's shameful that the European Union, which is the coordination center of the community to which we all belong to, saying nothing, even supporting the crackdown policy of the Prime Minister of Poland, which is totally unacceptable from the point of view of the European values. So I have dozens of reasons to be with you and with the previous government and law and justice.
How can we treat this silence by Brussels? These are double standards, or we are treated as a second-class citizens?
It's double standard. We have to win, go back and pay back, strike back.
Strike back.
We have to restore the moral equilibrium. So they have to suffer because what they have done. I'm not a man of revenge, because revenge is, you know, behind you. So if you are dealing with revenge, you can't concentrate on the future. And you probably know the famous Chinese saying that if you would like to revenge, you have to dig 2 tombs. Yeah. So I'm not the man of the revenge, but I'm a man of moral equilibrium. So we have to pay back.
But
and fight back to Brussels, because what they have done with you, with Poland and with Hungary, cannot be accepted.
Absolutely.
So they have to pay the price for that. Sorry to say that. I'm a kind Christian guy, but you know, moral equilibrium is the most important thing in the international politics, especially in an integration forum as the European Union is.
Mr. Prime Minister, I know that the relationship between Poland and Hungary on the official level are now weaker than it was in the past, or at all. That doesn't exist almost. But of course you are still interested in situation in Poland. So what is your impression when you hear, when you read, when you listen to about this fighting democracy introduced by Tusk? And some people say this is a kind of experiment which might be introduced in other countries as well.
So fighting democracy, if you turn it into Hungarian language, it's an old bloody communist term. We know it from the 50s. Okay. So that was exactly what the bloody communist did in Hungary, the same expression, you know. So we immediately realized what will happen. And even I said it in Brussels, that guys, don't let it happen. Fighting democracy in Central Europe has a special meaning. It means that political competition is over. And they will use the state instruments against political parties, which is totally unacceptable. So it's a shame, may I say. Whoever is the person or the political party who is using the phrase and practice of fighting democracy is a shame of the European Union.
We are after presidential election, ahead of this official taking into office by newly elected president Dr. Karol Nawrocki. What's your impression? What are your thoughts regarding the results of the Polish presidential election?
We opened a big bottle of champagne first, because we realized that this is essential. It's essential historically, from a historical horizon, because the new president is a chance to reshape the Central European cooperation, what we call V4, but we can call another way, but Central European cooperation, which was extremely successful anyway, with Morawiecki and Babiš and Fico. You know, it worked very well. Even the Germans and the French has to make a deal with us on major European issues. It was impossible without the V4, which means Central Europe, to make major decisions in the European structures.
And it created a bigger common power as well.
Absolutely.
In terms of relations with Turkey, with Israel, etc., etc. I remember meetings organized by you with these superpowers.
So that kind of Central European cooperation enlarged our influence inside the European Union and outside. So if we would like to be stronger, we should follow the same track. And the new president President Nawrocki is the man of that foreign policy. That's very important, especially under these circumstances. I'm absolutely sure that there were some interest behind destroying of V4. The German interest is obvious, the Brazilian interest is obvious, and I hope that the new president will remain devoted, as he is today, to that format. I will do on my behalf everything what I can. So that's the first. Second, you know, if you step over the border of the fair political competition, you have to suffer. You have to suffer the consequences. And your government did it.
Yeah.
So the presidential election was the first chance for the real Polish Democrats to fight back.
Absolutely.
And they did. So that's very important message to all the preparing that kind of guys as Prime Minister Tusk, fighting democracy. That guys, you can enjoy it for not more than 2 years, and then it's over.
This is true. Absolutely, you are absolutely right, Mr. Prime Minister, because I was covering as a journalist many governments during the last 30 years, and I didn't remember the government who was able to lose support as fast as Tusk is doing. Are you ready to meet President Nawrocki? Are there any plans regarding this?
Not plans, because, you know, in the Hungarian understanding of constitutional order, the president is there, the prime minister is just there. We say that the president is the first citizen and the prime minister is the first servant, you know. So it would be totally unpolite to knock on the door and to say, I would like to see you. I think first they have to see the president, and then I'm the man who is the most happy to meet him. On popularity, to be fair, of course, the present Polish government obviously choose a track to fight against opposition under the slogan of fighting democracy, which is unacceptable. But to run successfully the country is very, very difficult under this situation because of the war, because of the sanction and the lacking of competitiveness in the European Union, and making so many mistakes in the Brazilian headquarters, which push the European Union to a hopeless situation. So your government is a pro-Brazilian government. My government is a sovereignist government. It's a patriotic government. I try to slow down the process, which is even supported by your government, to push the European Union to the direction of United States of Europe, which is an imperialistic idea, which we don't like. So it's logical then your government losing the popularity because first, fighting democracy, unfair behavior. Second, because the way to move to the United States of Europe is bad for Poland and bad for the for the Central European economies, obviously make very limited chance for the Polish government to become successful. So two elements is too much to survive. That's how I see from here.
The last question regarding the Polish internal issues. Do you think that Mr. Tusk, the Polish Prime Minister, is your personal enemy? Do you have any contacts on this European level?
First of all, so to be the leader of Poland is one of the biggest possibility, because we are a big country. It's a very strong country. It's a strong army. Your economy, by potential, is extremely strong. You know, under the Law and Justice government, you provided, you know, fantastic economic results. Morawiecki was one of the best prime ministers I've ever seen as a financial expert. You know, so the fact is that the Polish government has all the chance to create or to run the most ever successful Polish period, I think so. So if I would be Polish, I would be very optimistic on the future. So that's first. Second, Tusk, unfortunately, did not deliver that request. So what's going on in Poland is far below the potentials, absolutely, as I see. And the third point is, unfortunately, I think he hates me. You know, if you commit a sin, you hate those who did not follow you than yourself.
Okay.
And he moved from a national, yeah, patriotic standpoint to the pro-Brazilian, pro-German, pro-United European states. So may I say a federalistic position. Yeah. He betrayed the patriotic position. I never betrayed. I'm, yeah, still on that path, and therefore he hates me. It's not personal, probably. It's because me personally remember him on his own personal mistake or personal sin. Sorry to say that it's probably too rude. I try to be as polite as I can, but that's how I see.
Yeah, fortunately, as you mentioned, sir, in Tushvano's speech, that Poland is on its half-back way back to this family of the nations which cooperate with Hungary. So I think it's good news.
So to be fair, it's not my job to speak about the national strategy of Poland, but as we understand from here, there was a Polish strategy that you can be stronger economically or more dynamic at least, yeah, than the Germans. You can create a weak Russia by the war with Ukraine. So the traditional dilemma of your history that, yeah, one side the big Germans, the other side the big Russians, yeah, and certain points both of them could be dangerous sometimes at the same time, you know. Exactly. And you have to have a strategy how to defend yourself against that and to maintain your security. So you decided how to do that, and then you try to keep the Americans in. Unfortunately, now the Germans decided that they will create the biggest European army, far bigger than anybody else have in Europe. The Russian army is stronger than ever, and the Americans is moving out. So I think the Polish strategy, which prevailed up to now, probably should get reasonably a question mark. What is the alternative of that? Yeah. The only alternative is cooperation of Central European countries to have a strong V4 and even broader cooperation, which, yeah, is strong enough to counterbalance the Germans, strong enough to counterbalance the Russians, and strong enough to become partner for the United States. That would be my offer.
Okay, and maybe to organize a common resistance towards the next proposal by European Commission, the budget, which is to some extent even horrifying, because we see not only 100 billion euros for Ukraine without any consultation, as far as I know, but we see all the money, all the funds conditional as well. What's your view, sir, on this?
My view is that the next European budget requests unanimous decision. My plan is that we will win the Hungarian election next year. Yeah. Morawiecki, Law and Justice, Kaczynski party will come back. Babiš will win October in Czech Republic, and Fico is strong enough to stay. Then four of us as V4 can stop the crazy idea of the European budget as it is today.
Will you be able, or you use this the discussion, the subject of the new budget to get back all the money which are blocked now by Brussels? No, all the Hungarian money, these are your money.
That's a special Hungarian issue. It's not a V4 issue. It's, yeah, a Hungarian issue. Of course, I cannot agree with any kind of new budget without managing the past. And the past means that they owe us, because they suspended our money, which belonged to Hungary. First, they have to give it up. Then we can negotiate on the future budget.
You call this budget as a war budget. Why is that?
20–25% of the money is going to Ukraine. Second, instead of developing the European economy, is rather financing the preparation for a war. I agree to some extent to spend more money for military capacities, but it should be spent not from the common budget of the European Union, it should be spent from the national budgets of each member of the European Union. So it's not a good idea to finance the preparation and strengthening of the armies to be more able to defend the European Union from a central budget, but from the national budget. That's how we would like to do so. But anyway, it will be a long, more than 2 years long discussion. If you are back, Babiš is back, Fico there, I'm there, we can change it a lot. We can improve it in a form that it will serve the interest of the European citizens.
Absolutely, I'm sure. We came to Ukrainian issue. How do you see the prospect of ending this war? Is it possible from your perspective? You have probably much better information than any journalist, so I'm really interested.
Nobody knows what informations are valuable and which are relevant. I have my personal experience, if I come forward with that.
Yeah.
Not the report of the intelligence services. My personal experience is that if we would like to have ceasefire or truce or even peace negotiation, the two big guys must negotiate personally. And this war is not between Ukraine and Russia. This war is between the West and Russia. And the leader of the West is called President Donald Trump. So without having a meeting, a personal meeting and the deal between the two big leaders, we don't have a chance to have a ceasefire.
But there were some attempts and it failed.
Have to continue, do it again.
Who can be accused or who can be blamed of this? Russian President Mr. Putin or Mr. Trump?
I don't know the details, but the fact is that the preparation is not good enough. So to meet two big leaders has a sense only when the preparation is good enough. And my suspicion is, my information is that the preparation up to now was not good enough to have that meeting. But I would be surprised not having that meeting in the forthcoming 2 months.
Okay, great. What's your opinion on President Zelensky? You met a year ago. You had some discussion regarding peace talks, regarding ceasefire. As far as we know, because you told it publicly, President Zelensky refused your proposals. So how the relationship are now, and how do you see his role in his country, in the region as well? It's interesting because he intervened personally in the Polish elections.
You know, first of all, if you are a leader of a government, as I am here in Hungary, the first point in international relations is respect. So even I have some remarks on Prime Minister of Poland. The tone I would always like to use is respect, because he is the elected Prime Minister of Poland. The same with the Ukrainian president. He is the elected president of Ukraine.
Yeah.
So I try to behave properly, which is necessary if we would like to have good bilateral relations in the future. So I respect him, but I think he made some mistakes. One of them was when he refused my proposal a year ago, when he tried to convince me that the time to win the war is on his side. And he rejected my interpretation that the time is on the Russian side. And you should do now something, later on the price will be even higher. It was a mistake to reject it anyway. But this is where we are. He is not in an easy position. It's very difficult to unite the nation which is in this hopeless war.
Okay. Coming back to European issues, do you sir think that it's possible to stop this dirty mechanism in which EU funds goes very often in hidden way to some NGOs, to some media, and then it come back as a public opinion, fake public opinion. It was revealed recently how much money Brussels EU Commission spent on this, and probably the same is Mr. Soros does. So we have completely unrealistic public opinion in which media are paid to claim something completely not in line with people's opinion, the same some NGOs, some organizations. If we can't stop this, we always be a scapegoat for them.
Yeah. So first of all, we have to say very clearly that this is the biggest corruption scandal I've ever seen. So it's corruption. So if from US aid, which was ruled by the American Democrats, US aid spending money to finance NGOs in other countries to influence the internal political life of sovereign countries, it's a corruption. The same happened from Brussels. To pay money from Brussels to NGOs, to sovereign countries, to influence their political life is a corruption. So we have to be very serious on that, first. So legally we have to treat like that. Second, we have to cut that lines, that channels. So it cannot be continued. In Hungary now there's a huge discussion which is just going on whether the NGOs can get any money from abroad. The suggestion, the proposal is on the table of the parliament, big discussion is going on, but the public agrees one basic point, that if somebody is dealing with politics, even called NGO, cannot get money from abroad. So in Hungary we will create a law which I think will generate some discussion with Brussels anyway, but we will do it definitely. And the Patriots, which was created by us a year ago in Brussels, revealed this fact. So now all the facts are public. It's on the internet, so you can see how Brussels influence into your political life, even in Poland.
Absolutely.
Who was bought out for how much money, you know. So we have to detect it and to make it public. If we don't do it, and the opposition or our opponents or our enemies can't continue to do so, we will be the losers. We will not just lose the election, but we will look like losers. So we can't accept that, so we have to fight against it.
But the problem is that this law will be similar to Russian law. So we had the same discussion in Poland, and now, you know, it's labeled as this foreign agents law introduced in Putin's Russia.
We know that. That trick is going on in Hungary, but the Hungarian version of that law is far closer to the American regulation. So the Americans,
copy the best.
the Americans never would let it happen. So the American legal system defends the sovereignty of the United States. It would never happen in United States. But in Hungary, finally, as I see the discussion, we are moving to a very simple solution. So those NGOs which has political activity should follow the same regulation as the political parties. Full point.
And then the situation is absolutely clear. You mentioned America, United States, so Donald Trump, his second term, how it has changed the world?
Oh, it's dramatically. Previously, Brussels and the liberal governments of member states in the European Union and the democratic administration in America united their forces, and they agreed to reshape the world alongside the ideology of progressive liberalism, woke ideology and all that kind of things. Pro-migration, anti-family, pro-gender, all that kind of things. They united their forces. And now Trump won the election against that forces. And now he fought against them, he defeated them, and now he pushed them out from United States. Our bad luck is that these persons and NGOs from Washington now arriving to Brussels anyway. So the only chance for us, conservative Christian national forces in Europe, that we have to take over the power in Brussels.
Exactly. Your personal relationship with Mr. Trump, they are warm. You may call him your friend, Mr. Prime Minister?
You know, it's
politics, I know.
In the Hungarian language, friends means, you know, a serious thing. Anybody who is not Central European to be considered as friends for a politician is difficult, you know. Probably Helmut Kohl was a real friend of mine, but, you know, he's an American president. What we have to say, we have to aware that he is not the man of the salvation. He is just the loyal partner of us. So he will not save us. We have to save ourselves. And he can help us to do so, and he will.
In Polish presidential election, there was a almost direct help by, of course, not in secret, not something illegal, but the meeting with President Nawrocki, frankly speaking, had a great
big push.
Big push.
You know, that kind of gestures of President Trump is really valuable, not just for the President Nawrocki, but for the Polish nation as well.
Ahead of Hungarian election in April, what are your prospects? What prospect do you, what are your thoughts on this today? I mean, in your speech in Tusfanos, you said that if the election is today, we would win. Is it for sure? You have some data?
Yeah. That opinion is data-based.
Okay.
Of course, it would be a big victory, overwhelming victory on our side. But, election is 8 months ahead of us. International forces are against it. The real challenge is not how to fight against the opposition in Hungary,
Yeah.
Even, okay, it's a challenge, but not a too big one, how to fight against the left liberal media, which is financed from our side. Okay, we can manage that. The real challenge is that the Brazilian bureaucrats and the liberals in Europe and their money, found NGOs, Soros Foundation, it's a huge power is behind our opponents.
Yeah.
So this is the real challenge, how to win an international game on a national basis.
And they even now focusing all these resources, or this money, or this media power to topple you down.
They don't like me too much.
Okay, okay. Who is Peter Magyar from your perspective? He's a real politician or he's just puppet?
In Hungary, all the opposition always finance from Brussels, finance from the Democrats. Now it's over because of Donald Trump. So finance from the liberal centers and making deals with the imperialistic centers like Brussels. And they will never follow the interest of the Hungarians. That's my interpretation. We are a patriotic force, they are the international force. We are pro-sovereignty, they are pro-European, United States or whatever. So that's always the case. The name can be changed, even the name of the persons and the parties, but the real structure of the Hungarian politics is the same. Patriots, sovereigntists on one side, internationalists, pro-Brazilians on the other side.
Yeah, they sometimes may present himself in disguise of even being patriotic, but when
like
patriotic,
Tusk,
like Tusk, and when the western border is open. I was really impressed by the subject you raised, that maybe in 10 years or even longer we would face as a nation of the Eastern Europe the situation in which we have to protect our borders as well from the West. This is what is happening in Poland, because the migrants are pushing, they call back. We don't know who these people are. They just don't want them. They were invited by German government and now they are forcibly pushed to Poland, which is
your fight today, but that will be a fight for Hungary in 10 years' time. I always preaching, delivering speeches to the young generation that be prepared for that. So my generation mission was to stop the Muslim influx at the southern border of Hungary, and the mission of your generation will be to do the same thing at the western border of Hungary, because the western countries are basically lost the chance to survive as they were. So now, instead of the old countries as we knew them and probably respect them, the big French nation, the big German nation and so on, it's not anymore as it was.
Exactly.
They became a kind of converted mixed society. Christian elements and Muslim elements and growing Muslim influence. So this will be a mixed society which will never come back. So my grandkids will never see the big French nation and the big German nation or the big Italian one as we have seen. It's over because of the migration. They misunderstood. Irreversible, and they misunderstood. Because we have historical, and I try to explain today that we have historical instincts that when the migration appeared at the southern border of Hungary, it was immediately obvious for us that it's not about refugees, it's about an invasion, a Muslim-based invasion. And if we would like to have a proper answer, we have to be aware of that. Stop them, don't let them go in. They are not refugees, invasion. So we did so, but the Westerners were not able to do so. So they consider it as a refugee crisis. We will manage it. They say very kind words and, a new concept of the liberal society when the Muslim communities and the Christian communities will live together. both of them will give up their religious conviction and became a happy, big, liberal family. You know, crazy.
It doesn't work anywhere. Anyway, just
that's against the history and the logic and the imminent law of the human character.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for your remarks. Thank you for this interview. I'm really proud to be here.
God bless Poland.